to your point about where the Big Ten is at, Michigan has elevated themselves. They're the second best team in college football over the last 18 months, record-wise. And so now it's not just Ohio State. You've got to face kind of two Goliaths, if you will. And for Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, they are looking for that guy to take them over the top. They have been to those championship games. They've been close to the playoff at times. Now they're expecting in an expanded, playoff era. Bruce, I would expect Badger fans are thinking we're going to go to the playoff. We're going to compete at that next level, that higher level. So that's what Luke Fickell is stepping into at Wisconsin. And the question will be, can he retain their identity and move them forward and up a level like they're expecting?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he did a really, really good job. And I think unlike, we're talking about Scott Frost, I don't think anybody looked at what he did at Ohio State in a really tough situation in the post Jim Tressel, run, and looked and said, oh, this was a slam dunk. He's going to go to Cincinnati and crush it. Well, he did. And he made some really good hires. And obviously he established a culture there. And that thing was in the ditch from Tommy Tuberville, right? They got a lot worse and he really built that back up. To me, I feel like it's almost harder in some ways, like, whereas in Nebraska, it's like, hey, they've been struggling to just get bowl eligible. I think Matt Rule, and I'm not saying he's going to get satisfied with 8-4 and everything, but at Wisconsin, because Paul Chryst had so much success, Jim Leonard had done, almost everybody who's coached there recently, feel like has been really, really good defensively. They have really smart kids. They know the identity and they fit to the system. I like the hire. I think it's really, really good. I don't know how much, is he going to be that much better than Paul Chryst was, or that much more successful, given what we know that this conference has gotten harder now because Michigan is way different than it was 5 years ago, right? And I think Nebraska is going to be better. Brett Bielema is like, you watched the film of them against Michigan, and I know you talked about
really good.
Some of the same Wolverine. Yeah, they are a really physical, nasty team. Like that guy knows how to win in the Big Ten. So yeah. I think it's hard. I think it's a really good hire, but the math isn't going to work here. Some of these coaches are going to end up going 8-5 and 7-6 when they're not used to it, or maybe the expectations aren't there. So, I'll ask you this: do you really think, knowing what you know about like the other side, and I know eventually we're not going to have divisions, but knowing what you know about Penn State still recruiting at a high level, they have terrific freshman players in the program now. We obviously know about Ohio State and Michigan, but like one of those two guys that they just got hired, Matt Rule and Luke Fickell, both of them are not going to, kill it. One of them is going to,
right.
Probably because look, even Minnesota is good, so it's a stacked group right now.
Well, think about Iowa, Bruce, right? Iowa's not going anywhere. They have that identity there. Pat Fitzgerald, is going to ride the roller coaster. He goes way down, but then he goes way up at moments. Bielema is there. And now all of a sudden, you're about to add Lincoln Riley and Chip Kelly.